Hello! I've done a heap of work and I thought I'd make another video to show the changes. So you can see we've got a nice pretty landing page here. Much needed instructions on what the hell to do. There'll be a video per role here, and I'll probably update this one here with this video that I'm recording right now that you may well have got to by clicking this link. Inception. So here's a list of games in progress, so you can pick a game ID out of the list of or you can type your own in here and then click private game, and then it won't show up in this list, or whatever. But I'll join a game in progress as a pilot, so it only lists the available roles. So there's a green bar across the top here now that shows you how much power you have for your role. The engineer can feed more or less power to various people. Don't think anything's changed on the scanner front, so you still can scan stuff. I did rework how the angles are handled a fair bit, so you get a bit more flexibility of how stuff. Oh, I've changed it so it shows up everything. Disregard that. You should have only been able to see target A with that scan, but as you can see, it's showing every target in the area. That hasn't changed very much. I've fleshed out the engineer's role a fair bit. The engineer can now allocate power to individual other roles, as I said. So capacitor 1 is for recon, 2 is for the pilot, 3 is for the gunner. But otherwise, I've reworked a lot of how the power allocation works, tidied it up a lot, but fundamentally it's still the same. I'm still tweaking the various scalars that determine how unstable stuff is. I haven't really found exactly what I want to do yet. In terms of how difficult it will be to control various factors. At the present, stuff overheating still doesn't do damage, but when I've got sort of an end of game summary screen put in, that's sort of the last capstone to make it actually worth playing. That and making enemies react in some way rather than just passively sitting there soaking up shots. Speaking of soaking up shots, the gunner has been filled in a lot. So let me just start loading some more guns. I'll charge the howitzer, and I'll charge the roto cannon, and I'll charge the lance. So you can see the various dials going up. The lance is the only energy weapon in there presently, and as you can see, it really draws the energy out. So if I switch back to engineer and look at the gunner's power, it's draining away really rapidly. So if I wanted to, I could allocate the gunner some more power to help them charge their weapons more quickly. The projectile weapons don't take much power to charge. So I'm going to aim weapon 0 at 0 degrees heading at 40 kilometers dead ahead. So that's this target here, which is presently these are its stats, so it's dead ahead, 0 degrees bearing, range 40 kilometers, size 20, metal 100, so it's a big metal thing, probably a tank. Temperature 20 degrees, and it's not moving. Nothing moves. It can have a speed, but doesn't necessarily it's actually moving. So I'm going to aim my howitzer, and you can see the range changes there, so it's now aiming at that target. I'll aim the other weapons at that heading also. Now we're all aiming at that target. It's worth noting that when you do an aim, your weapon points at a given heading. So if you were to turn, for example, so let's go, let's turn a little bit. The weapons all track on their gimbals pointing towards your desired heading as far as they can. Various weapons have various amounts. They can gimbal left and right, so twist while remaining on target. So I'm going to fire those weapons now. Whoa, did you hear that? There are sounds. So everybody hears the sound of the big sounds like weapons firing or components exploding. There may be sounds that are unique to a given role, but for now I'll make them everybody hears everything. This is a Bob Dylan song, isn't it? because I've got 4 roles open at once, you hear all 4 sounds 4 times, so it's fun. Okay, so I've unloaded all of our weapons on that target. Let's scan it again. And, oh dear, things have changed. I don't know why the position... Oh, that's right, we twisted slightly. Okay, so we turned slightly to the right, so target A is what we were hitting, and it's now quite hot because we hit it with a bunch of stuff. And it's also flat. So its size went from 20 to 0 and its temperature went from 20 to enormous. That's basically the only effect that hitting things does, aside from the log spamming messages like fucking bang and fucking ow. That's basically all it does for now. But when I work out exactly how to handle it, I'll be removing stuff from the field, and that's probably the next. Well, as I mentioned before, the capstone is really a page that shows you how you went. So there's no point in dying and then going, oh, I guess I died because my reactor overheated. That's no fun. But if you have like a summary that shows you why you died and gives you a score or something that lets you say, ooh, I could improve on that, then there's much more of a game there to play. Let me just bring up my to-do. So a lot of the role stuff is getting finished off. There's a few just things that are just nice to have, sort of quality of living improvements that I can make. But making enemies actually do something, that's probably an important one. That's going to be an important part of it. I'm also considering multiplayer, as in mech versus mech. That would be pretty trivial. All I need to do is just add 2 mechs to the same world and the logic handles itself. Alright, so that's basically all the changes that have been made. You can't change your role or your game ID anymore. You have to pick the role from the landing page. That won't work. Alright. Mechack.com. Let us know how you go. Bye bye.